Well, yeah, one of my best students actually lived in Louisiana. She was from Peru though. She eventually got married and moved to the Bay Area, but that's nice. I love it there. It's got such a culture. What made you move there or live there, I guess?
I grew up here actually. I'm back where I
Oh,
grew up. Yeah, the
wow.
that one over there, that little one. He has autism, and so we decided that it's a better idea for him to kind of be in a steady environment with
Oh yeah.
like the same schools and same people. My family's here, so I get a lot of help.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. Well, I'm so happy to connect with you today. We're officially live on the replay as well on YouTube, and I just wanted to welcome everybody. We are having a nice conversation. Jennifer is part of the Flow State Yoga Teacher Training Group, and I'm here in Colombia. We're actually talking about the upcoming retreat that I'm going to be leading down here. And it's really interesting because I've been leading retreats for like 20 years. And one of the things people are always surprised about that, like, how do you look so young? I'm like, I have the fountain of youth, people. I don't have any Botox, nothing, and 20 years. Okay, so here's the thing. I started leading retreats even before I was a yoga teacher, actually. I was leading retreats. I remember I used to go on trips all the time. I've been a traveler. So if you're a traveler, retreats is kind of the perfect solution because you get to travel and see the world. And at the same time, you're not going to do it alone. Because I've traveled a lot alone and then I've done retreats. And having retreats is so much, I would say, better because you get to meet amazing people and it just enhances the experience so much more when you have like-minded, beautiful people to share the experience with. And I always think like when we're at the end of our lives, what we're really going to look back on is the experiences that we had. They always say the same thing. They're like, there's these sayings from thousands of years that it's like you're never going to at the end of your life wish you would have worked more or had more things or more money because those are all things you cannot take with you. But on a soul level, what we do take with us is the growth and the experience of connection and love and joy and healing that we have with people and with experiences. So I've always invested everything that I have into experiences and also to provide those for others. So now after 20 years, I like really have a very uh specific way that I like retreats to be. I like them to be where at the end of the experience everybody feels brand new. Like I like the feeling of this rebirth energy. Rebirth is the feeling that, whatever you were working through, it's clear now, and whatever you are calling in, you see the clear path to that, and potentially even the resources showing up and the alignment in a better place, because that's really what flow state yoga and the practices that we teach and everything that I focus on, we focus on healing, right? But healing, actually, the word healing translates to mean to make whole. I don't know if you knew that. So to make whole. So when we realize that we're already whole, so it's really a process of remembering, right? So we are whole already. So if you feel like you need healing, it's like, okay, there's some aspect that doesn't feel that. Even if, and it's not a bad thing, like it happens to us all, you can get sick, someone passes away. There are so many things that can take us away from our feeling of wholeness. But at the same time, that's what community is all about. So that's why we need each other. Hey, it's 11:11. Let's say a prayer for humanity really quick. My prayer for humanity is always the same. I pray for all the children, mothers, families, all beings on earth and the animals and the nature, Mother Gaia, all have food, water, shelter, love, joy, support, infinite abundance to fulfill your divine life purpose, and that all beings feel inside this deep sense of wholeness, completeness, and connection to the divine source, to each other, and may that permeate and ripple out to create peace on earth for all. And so it is. Aho. Amen. So this prayer, it's really the prayer of oneness, because if you think about it, all beings includes you, right? And all beings includes all of us. And so as you start to pray for all beings, then you realize you're praying for your family, you're praying for yourself, but you're also praying for people that you don't even know, because they are also part of this oneness of existence. Humanity is one big family. And that's the way I've always seen it. So I'm really excited to bring everyone together for this beautiful experience. The reason that I am doing it in Colombia, I'll share a little bit about that because Colombia, when I was a little girl, my mother was in love with Colombia and she always dreamed of going to Colombia, which is so random. Like she was from America, but she was from the South Dakota, so it's like very Native American, very indigenous culture. But she just felt so connected to Colombia. So she wanted to just take us there. And we ended up going on this crazy retreat, like road trip with my mom when I was 7. After she lost her mind, she became schizophrenic. She decided we're going to go to Colombia. So we went on this long trip. We never made it to Colombia. And then eventually she did pass away in a very, very tragic fire later in life. So I had this deep feeling in my heart that I had this connection to Colombia. And then it was so interesting. So I started to meet different Colombian shaman over the years. So I've met with numerous shaman from around the world, Peru, Colombia, Brazil, many cultures. And the Colombian shaman, they tend to be more about the root chakra and the family energy. So it's like an interesting type of medicine because they are very, very earthy, very rootsy, very, very connected to Mother Earth tribe in the indigenous cultures. And their medicine that comes from the jungle here, it is so strong, but it's very powerful, and it brings you back to the source. It brings you back to the oneness and the wholeness. And then the yoga practices that we teach, which is the breath work and the mantra and the kriyas and a lot of these things that we do, the cleansing and all the things, that is how you can sustain that connection. So, for people that especially are going through a very difficult time in life or like grief, losing somebody that you love, or even right now, I think humanity is going through what I call the dark night of the soul. So it's literally like war and conflict and division. And it's so incessant. I'll say incessant means it just seems to keep going on and on. And it's like every time you turn around, you shouldn't be happy because there are people at war and people want to let you know why you should just, you know, pick a side and all that. And I don't buy into that. We don't need to pick a side on the war. I pick the side of love and truth and oneness. And until that's an option to pick out of, I'm not picking a side. Same thing with like voting in our country. Although I do like RFK, Kennedy for the win. But when it comes to picking even a political party, oh, someone's driving by. Yeah, so when it comes to picking sides, it depends. So I also, on the other side of that, I do feel that we should pick a side when it comes to like standing for those who should be protected. So for example, when they're trying to cut down the rainforest in the Amazon and kill all the indigenous people, I pick the side of the indigenous people. So I will always protect people that are vulnerable communities. And so there is some element of picking a side, but when it comes to war, I'm not picking sides because I don't buy into war at all. So I just say, okay, you're gonna figure that part out. And in the meantime, we pray for everybody. And we're going to pray for the healing of humanity. And we're going to come together in this retreat. And what the really nice thing about this retreat that I'm so excited, my friend actually owns this retreat center. It's on the beach. It's a heaven place. It's so beautiful. It's on the beach. It's like magical. And then they have this beautiful spa. So you have the ocean breeze coming into you and amazing food, the best food, that maybe one of the best places I've had food at a retreat center ever. The husband, he's like really great chef. It's not all vegan, but if you're vegan, you can have vegan. If you want fish or, they make other things, chicken, they have everything. So they make amazing, delicious, healthy food, and they grow most of it in their own garden. So it's really special. And my friend owns this place. And her and her husband built this for 10 years on the beach here in Colombia. And they're Colombians. And the mother, her grandma or her mother, is my dear friend from Miami. So it's a very special thing because it feels like they're like family. And she asked me if I wanted to do a retreat here. And so I said, oh, I got to come see the place. So I came down and I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do this. And so we're going to be doing this retreat in July. And the reason that we're doing it in July is because that's the very start of the Lion's Gate portal. And the Lion's Gate is a powerful portal where the star Sirius, which is the star that's aligned with my sun, but it was the star that was aligned with the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. the star Sirius, it's 2 times more powerful, more brighter than the sun. So our sun is already a lot of fire, but then star Sirius, it's double that. It's very far away. But on that day, between July 21st to August 8th, it's the brightest in the sky. So this is a time when we can really align with our destiny. So it's like a destiny kind of alignment energy. And so I like to do things around that timing. And so that's why we're doing it at that time in July. So it'll be July 21 to 28. It's a week. It's in this place called Santa Marta, Colombia. And then we also have a bunch of really fun things planned. So this retreat, you can get hours for your yoga teacher training. So if you're already in our yoga teacher training, you're doing the 200 or the 300-hour program, you can get the another 200 for this retreat. So that way you could get up to the 500 if you want to for this special retreat. And we're going to be doing a lot of fun things. We're going to do cacao ceremony, blue lotus ceremony. We're even going to do some psychedelic ceremonies for those who want to do it. And a lot of fun, amazing healing, but also connection. And we go to the waterfalls and we do the hiking. And yeah, there's lots of options and it's going to be really, really beautiful. So hopefully everybody can come. And I want to offer a special opportunity for anybody who can sign up this week. We have a special early bird special, which is so normally the tuition, because it includes the teacher training as well, for the week, it would be 3,900. So we're going to offer, if you can enroll this week, then we will offer you $1,000 off only this week for this retreat. So it would be 2,900 and it would be that's all inclusive. The only thing you have to get your flight. So that's the only thing. But actually you fly into Santa Marta, Colombia. That's the best place to fly into. That's 1 hour away. And then we have the transfer, bring you from there. So it's such a beautiful journey. And I really look forward to sharing this blessing with you guys. I've been leading retreats for so many years and I was really looking for a new kind of location. I've done many locations. They're all great. You know, in the end of the day, it's the people and the nature is what really makes it, and the experiences that we have lined up. It's the energy of the group. That's what makes a difference. You know, if you think about it, like if you're like, what makes a difference if I go with this group? And I mean, you might have some places on your list that's like, that's my bucket list destination to go. And I hope you do. And I actually do have that for myself. You know, I have certain places that I definitely want to go in this life before I pass away. But, you know, like really my bucket list is everywhere. Like I want to go everywhere. So if you have some places that you have been dreaming of going, if you come to this retreat, if you're part of the YTT, I will also be sharing with you guys some special hacks on how to lead your own retreats. And if you've ever wanted to do that, it's such a cool thing to do. And some of my graduates have had tremendous success doing that. So it's definitely something that you can add to your career options that you want to offer for your community when you start teaching and when you start your business in that sense as a teacher. And at the same time, even if you just wanted to, you know, like assist at you can assist at teacher trainings with the 500-hour certification. You're going to be able to assist at teacher trainings. And if you're a 500-hour certified teacher, you can also offer continuing education workshops and retreats. So you can offer continuing education workshops for other yoga teachers or for other wellness professionals. One of the things that my sister, who's a nurse, she had a yoga teacher, she offered her, they got to go to this 3-day yoga retreat, and it was covered by the hospital, because the hospital, if you are smart and you know how to do your business, you can, you know, you can work with things like that, like the hospital or corporations, and talk to them and say, hey, you know, I want to offer this retreat to your nurses for 3 days. And it's, you know, and then they have a budget for that for certain professionals. Also in the military for veterans, different types of parts of the military, they have funding available for veterans and for different people, because especially if what you are teaching can also help them with burnout or exhaustion or PTSD, trauma. These are things that everybody is really struggling with, you know. Even myself, I have my whole life been dedicated to healing trauma because it's a deep thing. If you've been traumatized, it's not just like snap your fingers and you're healed, you know, but you have to continuously go for it, because if you don't, it doesn't, you know, it doesn't get better on its own. That's the thing about trauma. So that's why I had so much trauma as a young person because of my mother. I lost my family very, very early. And it was always a very interesting thing because I saw so many people around me have like a family and I didn't really have it that way. So I felt this trauma from that. But there was other traumas that happened as well after that. But it was like an interesting thing. So everybody has their story and everybody has their traumas that they have to deal with. And even if it's a tiny little thing, people underestimate what impact trauma can have on you. So for example, maybe if you were a kid and like this is a big one that happens to a lot of people. If you have any siblings, and then if you like when you're let's say you're the first child, and then the second child is born. So all of a sudden, it's a trauma because all of a sudden you go from being the center of the universe of your family to having not that. Now all the energy goes to the new baby. So this is actually a big trauma for siblings. It happens many times. And then it's in different ways, like we see it in school when there's bullying, you see it in different situations where children are really, just impressionable. And then whatever happens during the development of children, it starts to form their self-identity and it leaves an imprint within where maybe they feel not enough or not worthy or abandoned or all these things. So that's really where we're looking at when we talk about trauma informed yoga. So trauma informed, it means first of all that you understand trauma and secondly how to help it, right? So there's so many approaches, right? So one of the ways that I think is really beneficial is just giving compassion to the trauma. First of all, you know, oh, Jennifer has a comment. Let's check. Shit. Let's see. I never judge trauma. My trauma never compares to your trauma. It's all trauma and it affects us all. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. Yeah, it's not about judging it, but what it is, it's like, for example, to know that we all have it. Now, everybody has it on some level. Like some people, they don't look like they have it. And you're like, okay, well, maybe they're managing pretty well, or maybe like I have a lot of friends that had like just like a really ideal, perfect childhood, right? So if you have a very good, ideal, perfect childhood, then generally you'll have less trauma than everyone else because it's really in that first 7 to 10 years that you're forming your self-identity. So if you in those early years don't have like trauma going on, then it's much easier to develop a very strong sense of self and to not, not to kind of hold on to it as much. But it still happens. Like for example, one of my good friends, he got in a car accident. He wrote the Miracle Morning. So in the Flow State Yoga Teacher Training, I have the whole Miracle Morning module, and there's a book called The Miracle Morning. And my friend Hal Elrod, he wrote that book, and I wrote the yoga chapter in the book. And he's such an inspiration. Actually, he died. He was in a big car accident when he was 18. He died for 7 minutes, and he was in a coma. And then he came back from death, and then they said that he would never walk again. And he actually, not only did he end up walking again, he ended up running a 100-mile marathon and proving everybody wrong. And there were several times where he went through something really huge and then instead of letting it like crush him, instead he decided to transmute that into positive contribution. So that's what I've always done too. I tend to attract friends that are similar to me in this way. So this is something that I always admire in people. It's like if you can take your deep challenges that we face in life, everybody faces these challenges. If you can take them and transmute them into a positive in some way. And this is why I always say like transmute your pain into purpose. Because the purpose of the pain is to help us to grow stronger, clearer, more aligned. And if we're going through something challenging, it's definitely an opportunity. We can look at it like a victim and say, oh, this is happening to me. And I don't, or we could say, like, how do I transmute this into something beautiful that I can serve the world and that I can bring myself to a better place with this? So this is kind of how I've always seen the world, but it's also what I teach. And through the Flow State Institute, this is a big part of our focus. It's like, how do we use our tools that we have to transmute the energy that we face, right? And I want to say something. Jennifer, how old are you? I'd like to uh get an idea about something.
I am 34,
Oh,
about
okay.
to be.
Wow. Amazing. Wow, that's great. So 34, I'll tell you one thing. I'm 42. When I was in my 30s, I wish I would have had somebody tell me this, but I'm going to tell you something. You not only can grow younger over time,
Mhm.
and you can grow more aligned with your soul in terms of purpose. And I feel there was a time when I thought that age 16 was the pinnacle of my existence. And then I was like, I don't know what the heck is that. I don't know where that thought came from, but that was like a totally funny thing. At age 16, I really felt that. And I think it's because society puts so much emphasis on youth, like that youth is like the pinnacle. But in many indigenous cultures, it's the opposite. It's like when you are 100, you're in the pinnacle. Like you're the wise, beautiful energy that people need to know about. So it's a very fascinating thing for us to, be in this kind of Western culture where they put so much emphasis on youth. But like in my view, we get younger with age, we can feel more vibrant, more alive, more for myself. I remember when I was 18, 20 something, I was drinking a lot. I had a lot of confusion about who I am and what is my purpose. I had no idea what my purpose was. And I was always like in the wrong crowds, not always, but a lot of times I would get in mixed in with the wrong people and I would have no boundaries. And it's just like so many when you're younger, you have a lot of this. And as you get older, you don't have that anymore because you already like decided, I'm not dealing with that. I'm letting it go. And so I'm only going to be around the right people and I'm only going to, like focus on what I'm passionate about. So I'm aligned with my soul purpose. And so like life gets better and better because we start to become more and more aligned with our true higher self and like who we are here to be. And in that, it's really exciting because we also have a lot of like sort of infinite potential available at every moment. But instead of the infinite potential that you have when you're 20, where you're like, I could do anything, it's more specific. It's like, yeah, I could do anything, but I'm going to do these things because these are the things that are most aligned with my soul and my purpose of life. And as we get more aligned with our purpose and our soul, then I feel like we start to see a lot more magic and miracles happening. And it doesn't mean that life is not sometimes hard, like I feel it never like hard, challenging stuff never goes away. Like that's just life. But one of the things that's interesting, I want to mention today, there's this app that you guys um you can download the app. It's called The Pattern if you want. It's free. But I want to mention we have an app. The Flow State app is for our tribe. But there's an app that you can download for free. It's called The Pattern, and it allows you to get your astrological reading, but it also tells you some interesting information. And one of the things that it says that like hold on a second. It tells you your um times. So I'll give you an example. I'm gonna read mine so you have a better concept of what I'm trying to say here. So it gives you like different times. So for example, for me, I just ended one cycle and then it says I'm going into a new cycle. So it's called your timing. So you can go here, it says in the app, right? It says your timing. And then it says here, it says, let go of the past. 5 months left. So basically, it gives you an idea, and you can click it and you can read more about it. But basically, it gives you an idea of what the next 5 months is going to be, the theme of it. And it comes from your astrology. So it's basically pulling from your astrological chart and it's saying, okay, according to the way the planets are lined and your specific chart with the universe, that this next few months or whatever is going to be about this. So mine says let go of the past next 5 months. And then there's another one. It says expansion of home. And then it says for me 80 days left. So this one was from July. So each one, it has like a period of time. So it kind of tells you. And then another one it says release and advance. And then there was another one called depth and growth. So that one is starting February. So anyway, it gives you like this idea of what you can expect for your life at these different periods. And I think it can be beneficial, especially if you're trying to navigate your life. Because if you're wondering, like, oh, why is this kind of things coming up? And you see this is part of like help you to feel more at ease about it. It's like, okay, I see the next 5 months is about letting go of the past. I mean, ideally, we could just do that right now and skip ahead. But maybe it's not meant to skip ahead, you know? Let me get my water. I have this water. This is water, not wine. So anyway, if you look it up, let me know. You can feel free to post it on in the Facebook group if you want to share what you find out. It's very interesting. And it's also a way of kind of understanding, for example, your next phase, right? So if you know that your phase is about home, or if your phase is about like I just described with that, there was the one letting go of the past, expansion, depth and growth. I mean, ultimately, I feel like I'm always in a phase of depth and growth. So it feels like, well, that's redundant. But at the same time, I think what it's saying is that it's going to be even more than usual. So I'm like, okay, I'm here for it, you know? So in that sense, if you know what to expect, you can prepare. And also during these periods, you can get the more support so that you can get through it with better, you know, wisdom and grace. And so that's what the retreats are about. To me, it's also community. I'm going to be working with Gaia TV. And Gaia, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gaia, but they're going to actually start, they want to promote the Flow State Yoga Teacher Training to their community. I'm really excited about that. They've been wanting to add online yoga teacher training, so they said they're going to add it. But basically, also they said if we have retreats, they want to also share about that to their community. So we're gonna have some people from that community in the retreats and in the online training in 2024. And basically the reason that I brought that up is because she was telling me, the person or Gaia was saying what they really want is more in-person connection opportunities like retreats, because you know a lot of things are online nowadays. And so when everything's online, it's not a bad thing. Like I love things online because it's easier. It does make it easier. And I was even talking about this before. I think the online teacher training is so nice because you can pause, you can rewind, you can stop and go do something like cook dinner, come back. These are things that you could not do if you were in a live setting. So it's really, really convenient. And actually, I think it's a better format to learn because you can watch over and over if you like one, you know, and that helps you to learn better. And there are some of the workshops and the yoga training that we have that it's so powerful because it teaches you like all the things, because we were actually in a live teacher training. So it's like you're there, but you get to be at home. So that's the beauty of it. But that's why we're also going to add some retreats as well, because I want for people to have that live experience and connection. I think it does definitely makes you a better teacher, and it makes you a deeper being, a deeper soul to have these experiences. And then you can go back to your community, you can teach classes and workshops and your own retreats with that experience. And I've been to a lot of retreats. I've in my own life to of other people. When I started, I would go to other people's retreats a lot. And so I learned so many beautiful ways of like facilitating retreats. Now I love to do it in a way that like the whole retreat is like a ceremony. So we have beautiful ceremonies every day, and then we have a lot of opportunity for hola. Sí, I think. Yeah. She asked me something in Spanish, but I'm not 100% what she said. I said sí. I hope I meant the right thing by saying that. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty good at Spanish, but not always, especially when they speak really fast. But it's fun too, because if you go to Colombia, you're gonna learn some Spanish. And it's a valuable skill to know some of it. But anyway, okay, so Colombia retreat, July 21 to 28. And it's a very powerful journey. Like I said, we're going to do different types of ceremonies. We're going to do Blue Lotus. And I want to explain the Blue Lotus ceremony is so beautiful. I did it now a couple times and I'm blown away. But the best way to do it is one day of just like liquid fasting, at least just fasting. So we're going to do one day of a juice cleanse. And then at the end of the day, we're going to do the Blue Lotus ceremony. Or maybe we'll just do a Blue Lotus all day. We can do that. Anyway, so it's just like a special experience that they used to do in ancient Egypt, Blue Lotus ceremony, because it's a psychedelic, but it's a very beautiful one from a flower, and it gives you like this beautiful heart opening, expansive energy. So that is going to be one of the ceremonies, and we're going to do also a cacao ceremony, which also does a similar thing, but in a different way with cacao ceremony. And then with that one, we're going to mix if people want, anybody who wants to, we might include psychedelic mushrooms because those are also really fun. It's interesting. There's so much science now that shows how psychedelics are one of the best healing tools for PTSD. And I have found tremendous benefit with psychedelics my whole life. Like I started taking psychedelics as a young person, and it's always been kind of like normal to me. But then I realized a lot of people didn't do it yet. But I was like, I didn't want to talk about it that much because it's not 100% legal. But now it's getting more and more legal. Like they even have a company called Cybin, and it's on the stock market. And it's a stock market. Um, it's a pharmaceutical level kind of one, which I don't like that as much because it means that they made it in a laboratory. But anyway, they're trying to replicate it. I'm like, why don't you just get it out of the mushroom? The main reason I think they want to get it from the laboratory is so they can control it and so that they can limit people taking it in the natural way. But I'm not gonna be interested too much in that. But it is nice, that they're starting to offer it in a legal sense for people. So I highly recommend. And we're gonna do that at the retreat too in Colombia. And we might end up doing it in Bali too. It's just trickier in Bali. Those types of things are very illegal. So the one in Bali is going to be totally different. It's Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a healing modality that is deeply healing. It's like massages every day, and it's just like you get so many unique treatments that are not just massages, but they're like specifically created by the doctor to balance your energy. So then by the end of that retreat in Bali, you have like this unique experience. That's why I call it a rebirth. It's a different type of rebirth because you're just getting so much massages and treatments and relaxing and feeling so nice that it just balances all your energy and you end up feeling reborn. So I've done it like 5 times in a row. That's like to me the really beautiful experience. So it's totally different. The one in Colombia, you're still going to get massages, but it's going to be more with ceremonies and adventures with the waterfalls and kind of like a little bit more of an adventurous one with goddess energy and like, that kind of thing. The other one is more internal. So this one is more connection. They're all going to have a connection, but the Colombia is much more the connection. So I highly encourage. So if you can join us, you can email me. So you could email me at support@flowstate.yoga if you want to join. And like I said, we have a very special offer, early bird special for anybody who can make it. The price is normally going to be 3,900, and it's the early bird price for this week only is 1,000 off. So that's this week only. So today is Sunday, so I think, by Friday is the cutoff for that. So we just want to give people an opportunity if they're like, yes, this is a full body, yes, I definitely want to go to this and I definitely want to be there, then we want to give you the opportunity to be there and to secure your spot because there is a limited amount of spots. And when we start to promote it with Gaia and stuff, I think it's going to fill up really quickly. I didn't start sending it to them yet. So I just kind of came down here to Colombia to like put the plan together. And now that the plan is together, we have the dates and we have the location and it's all exciting. So that's it. Did you want to ask any questions, Jennifer? Because I know you were mentioning that you want to come to the Colombia retreat.
I don't have any specific questions. I think that it sounds absolutely amazing, and yeah, I'm excited. It lines up like specifically with my schedule that I could actually go, which would be just absolutely incredible. But I by the end of the training that I'm doing with you online, I will be a 500-hour teacher. So that's going to be really cool. I'm super
Amazing.
excited about it. So yeah, I'm
Um,
I'm so excited for everything. I think it's just amazing, and it's
so tell us a little bit about your experience so far with this Flow State Yoga teacher training, so far the online part. I'd love to hear how it's been going for you. I see your posts. You're doing amazing. I'm always like, yay. I love to see because whenever I see people posting, what I feel is that they are getting it, and it's like that's why we have this format where you have to teach as you learn. And I think it
oh,
really is.
absolutely. So far in this, I am just absolutely loving it. I've got a bunch of stuff that I need to record actually today. Because I finished some of the modules. I just with my schedule, I have to record different days than when I finish it. But I finished the Master Business Academy, and in that, it really helped me define kind of exactly what path I want to take and how I want to do my personal life. And through the training with the Miracle Morning and I haven't done the Kundalini because I just did the chakra, because I didn't want to do the Kundalini before I did the chakra stuff, because I knew I had a bunch of stuff personally I needed to heal. But
Oh,
through all of that, I have healed an incredible amount of personal traumas and things that I've been going through for a long time. And I feel like I'm finally breaking through a lot of these issues that I've held on to, not purposefully, but I just haven't gotten the deep enough in my life to, or within myself, to heal them. And I finally, through this program, have really concentrated and been able to bring up this well of all of these things, and through your words and your meditations and the pranayama and all of that, I've really been able to go that deep and truly heal a lot of these things that I've been through. And so
wow.
I will forever be grateful for this. It's beyond the asanas, which the first training that I did went a little bit into the deeper stuff, but it was mostly the asanas and how to actually teach through a class, which was so helpful at the time because I was teaching yoga, and it really helped to be able to put classes together and flow through the asanas and really learn how to put the sequencing together. Which I had always, taken yoga classes and knew about sequencing a little, but to do it personally is a little more intimidating. So that first training that I went through, the 200-hour, was really just about the asanas and putting it together. And like I said, it went a little into this, but yours is so much more in depth. Sorry, my dog is like, hey, you're talking. Maybe I can go up now. But yours goes way more in depth, especially with, I did meditation, and I really like guided meditations because I have terrible ADHD. So if I have to sit quietly, it's like all the buzzing in there. But with yours, I've really been able to learn how to actually quiet my mind and focus on what I need to focus on and get through whatever piece it is, and just go deeper and within. And I've felt calmer and more at peace through this whole series than I have in, probably ever, honestly. Our stories are very aligned. We have a lot of the same through I watched all the previous Zooms, and so I know a lot of your story. Not that I know you or truly know your story, but through those, I feel like I know a lot of the things that you talk about. And we have a lot of the same traumas, which is interesting. But
Oh,
like I it's it's been nice to truly be able to be at peace, and I feel like I've cleaned all of my chakras, and I've really been able to open and trust more and come more alive. And it's been so beautiful of an experience, and I'm not done yet, obviously. But I get excited for each different piece of this, because I know that through it I will be able to continue this and really come out of this, I feel like, the most genuine version of myself. And it's just been beautiful.
wow, thank you for sharing all of that. That's so beautiful, and it just makes me feel so good to know how much it's been impacting you, because that's really what I really dedicated my whole life to this. So whenever I feel anybody gets a lot out of it, it makes me feel so happy, because it's like the fulfillment of this dream that I have. And the dream that I have is that for all beings to have access to these tools, and we all deserve that. And it's very interesting because I think most people don't even know about that this is available. So now you're going to be able to pass it along and teach. And that's why I also have focused all these years on teaching teachers, because, if I teach you one time, you gain some benefits. But if I teach you you gain the benefit, and then I teach you how to teach. Now everybody that you ever meet can gain the benefits. And so to me, it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's the blessing of God that we have this gift. And these are thousands of year old wisdom, and also some combining with some modern technologies and stuff. And we're going to be doing our cleanse coming up. Everybody's been asking about that. I'm going to post about it in the group, in the Facebook group, because our my battery's getting ready to go. So we're gonna have to wrap this up. But it's a very exciting next couple weeks because we want to wrap up this new year with, this 2023 with, clearing out the old. So I call it TLC, Total Life Cleanse. And it's something that I do continuously, but it's something that I like to invite everybody to participate. And sometimes we do cleanses in the beginning of the year. I actually really like to do it at the end of the year too, because it's a time where you're like, okay, let me just clear this energy out of this for this old year. And so I be an open vessel for the new. And so as we clear out and let go of, like you saw, my pattern is this next 5 months, I'm going to be helping everybody, because whenever I'm in a pattern, I'm helping the world with that pattern. So we're all going to be focusing on clearing out the past, letting go. And what that does is it creates space for the new. And that's what we're calling it, the new, whatever that is. For you, it could be maybe you want to lead retreats. Maybe you want to teach classes in your community. You're going to be in Colombia with us. Those are the new energies that you're calling in: divine support, divine connection with community, other like-minded souls, masterminding, growing yourself, feeling elevated, feeling the beautiful energy that you know that you are. So all of that is coming. So check it out in the Facebook group. We're going to have to wrap it up. The battery's about to die, but I love you. Thank you for joining us. And if you guys can come to the retreat, email me, support@flowstate.yoga, or you can go to flowstate.yoga. That's our website. But basically, you can also DM me on Instagram or anything, and we can set a time to chat. And if you want to get the early bird special, it's for 1 week only, and it expires next Friday. We'd love to have you. It's going to be amazing. And feel free to tell your friends and bring a friend, because that's also something that really makes it even more special. But you're going to meet some new friends. Some people meet their besties at these retreats. Thank you for joining us. I love you so much. Have a blessed day.